Record. So is hormones something that has been a like a concern of yours or something that you thought like, oh my God, I think my hormones are just like fucked up.
So definitely a concern for me.
Yeah. For a long time.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Miss Joanne. How are you?
Hi, good evening, Danielle.
Nice to see
I'm
you
well. How you
again.
doing?
Great. Very, very good. Yes. Okay. Um, yeah, so what is your I don't want to pose this question. Like, what is your like main concern? Like, are you girls experiencing like hot flashes, weight gain, stuck with the weight, mood swings, no energy? And you kind of just like throw out whatever. It doesn't
All
need.
of the above.
You know what, Danielle? It's really hit me is how our muscles change. You
Mhm.
know, it just is like I see such a noticeable difference, and I walk a lot um, and try to do leg exercises and this and that, but I just see like my muscles are not how I remember them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And
as
how,
we,
what's it going to take? Is it like creatine? Is it creatine? You know, like things like that. And
yeah.
uh,
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing too. It's like, you hear all these things. It's like, yes, we start to lose muscle as we turn 40, and then every decade we lose more and more. So it's important to
it's
weight
so
train.
crazy. Yeah,
And at the same time, it's like, oh, well, creatine. Oh, take this supplement. Oh, well, or
I know.
HRT. And it's like, what? And then, you're trying all of these things and nothing's happening, but you're doing all of these things. And you're like, okay, well, now what?
Right.
Right. And a lot of times it's not like any of those things that we need to do. So yeah, I'm
Hmm.
really excited to share with you the information because it's I wanted to be like really direct and like just kind of keep it like potent. I didn't want to water it down and take like a lot of time. Just wanted to like right, get to the point so that you guys could have some like, oh my God, okay, this, let me implement this, and then like really like get moving, be able to get moving again.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Jerry. How are you? Nice to see you. Oh, you're muted. Unmute. Say hi. The little microphone button in the
Oh,
corner.
there you go. I
Yeah.
found it.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm excellent. It's great to see you.
Yes. You
Huh?
remember me, right?
Of course I remember you, girl.
I know.
Well,
It's
I
been a long
haven't seen
time.
you like live and in person. I was telling Danielle the same thing. I just see this little tiny picture pop up. Oh, it's Jerry. I'm like, oh, Jerry, hi.
No, because I don't know what I'm doing here.
Well, you're here.
No, thank
And
you.
we have Trillium. Hello. Welcome.
Sorry I'm late.
All good. All good in the hood. We're just about to get started. Okay. So with this, so before we start, I love whenever I do something like this, I really want it to be interactive, right? So if you have questions, if something's standing out to you or you're like, whoa, what? Right? Raise your hand, drop the question in the chat box. Like I'm always going to come back to your questions. And my beautiful assistant is with us. You just can't see her. Her camera, well, her internet is a little wonky. Her name is Michaela. She is here. Michaela, say hi.
Hi everyone. So
Hi,
glad to have you
Michaela.
here.
She is very beautiful. I'm not lying. My beautiful assistant.
Thank you, Danielle. You're so sweet.
So she is also going to help me and she's going to monitor the chat. So if you guys are dropping questions in there while I'm going through the presentation, she's writing questions down and we're going to come back to those, okay? So again, like any question, even if you feel like it's a stupid question, because people are like, oh my God, this is probably a stupid question. It's probably the best question in the world, and everybody else has that question. So ask it. Okay. All right, cool. And let's see, who else did we have jump on? We have Debbie, Deanna, Sally, Nikki. Oh, Sherry. Sherry, you're here. I have my phone as a cheat so
Oh,
that I can see everyone while I'm presenting. So I got double eyes on all of you. All right, my girls, are you ready to rock and roll? Here we go. Okay, can you guys all see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so welcome. I am super excited that you girls are all here for today's masterclass. So today we are talking about master your hormones after 40, the key to effortless fat loss without dieting or cardio. Because who wants to diet and really who wants to do cardio? So this is for every woman who's been struggling with losing weight despite eating clean and working out. So if you've ever felt like your body is fighting you, this class will change everything. So let's dive in. So curious, how many of you feel like your body is fighting you? What you're doing? Raise your hand. Yeah,
Mhm.
feel you. I feel you. Been there, done that.
Yep.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know me yet, hi, I'm Danielle Francine. I'm the founder of Body by Design. I've been in the health and fitness industry since like 2006. We don't need to count those years. It's enough time. I've helped thousands of women transform their bodies without old school dieting. So my mission is to empower women to create their dream body, fit, lean, and irresistibly confident. So in today's masterclass, we're going to cover why traditional weight loss methods fail after 40 and the exact steps to work with your hormones, not against them. Okay, so that way you can finally shed your stubborn weight and feel amazing. Okay, so if you girls stay till the end, you get bonuses. So we have a hormone weight loss blueprint. And really, this is me, this is my bait for you because I want you to get all of this information. Because a piece will be great, two pieces will be even better, but all of the information together, right, is really what you need. It's like, think about when you're baking a cake. Your neighbor is like, oh my God, I made this amazing crumb cake. And you take a bite and you're like, oh my God, I need the recipe. And you bake it, but you don't have all the ingredients. It doesn't come out the same, right? So that's the same thing with our bodies. It's like little tweaks here, but it's all of the ingredients together that really create the magic. Okay. So at the end, I'm gonna have you text the number that I text you from, the reminders for the masterclass to get the hormone weight loss blueprint. And you'll also get the call recording. And then there's also a big surprise too, because I like surprises, and I'm sure all you girls do too. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to talk about first declining estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone and how they impact the metabolism and your fat storage. So increased cortisol. This is what leads to stubborn belly fat and insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is basically how blood sugar affects the fat loss. Okay. So let's talk about what's actually happening in your body. After 43 key hormonal shifts occur. Your estrogen and progesterone drop, which can lead to increased belly fat, lower energy, and cravings. How many of you girls experience that? Increased belly fat, lower energy, and cravings, especially
Yes.
cravings. Yeah. And then your cortisol also rises. So there's more stress, which leads to more stored fat, particularly around the midsection, right? We feel like we have that like tire hanging out.
Yeah.
And then insulin resistance increases. So your body doesn't process carbs as efficiently as it used to when you were younger, which also leads to stubborn fat storage. Who is experiencing that? I'm craving all of the carbs. My energy is low, and I have this freaking belly fat that I can't get rid of. Right? So this is why the old school method, eat less, move more approach backfires. It ignores how our hormones are changing and how our body is changing. So the eat less, move more myth, why it slows down your metabolism. Okay. So how many of you girls have tried cutting calories or doing more cardio only to see no results? Or even like you experience weight gain? Raise your hand, or you can even drop me in the chat. So that's because chronic dieting slows your metabolism down and makes your body hold on to fat. And excessive cardio raises cortisol, making fat loss harder. So your body needs to feel safe in order to release its body fat and constant stress, right? So you can have constant stress from overtraining, under eating, and dieting. So when we do these things, we're like, oh, okay, well, I got to work out more. I need to eat less. And this diet, right? We're doing the opposite of what our body needs. Our body is not in a state of rest and digest, right? Or safety. She's freaking out. She is like too much, right? And she's holding on to everything. So the key is to reset your metabolism and balance your hormones, not cut more calories. So how many of you girls have been in that, or maybe you're even in that right now where you're like, well, I'm really not even eating a lot throughout the day. Why am I not losing weight? Yeah. Which is frustrating, right? Because at one point in our life, that did work, and now it's not. Okay. So what actually works? So here's the 4-part framework that we're going to cover today. So hormones, balancing your nutrition and eating in a way that supports your unique hormonal needs. And then strength training. So strength-based training, why lifting weights beats cardio for fat loss. And then stress and recovery strategies. So how to manage cortisol to optimize fat burning. And then also cycle synced lifestyle adjustments. So what we're going to talk about there is aligning your workouts and your nutrition with your cycle for maximum results. So have any of you girls heard of like cycle syncing?
Mm,
No.
No.
Okay.
yes.
Some yes, some no. Okay. And so when you heard of cycle syncing, were you like, what the crap is that?
Well, like my period stopped 100 years ago. Like that's what
Right.
meetings
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. And so the cool thing is, even if you don't have your cycle anymore, if you're in menopause, if you're through menopause, we can still work with your body because you do still have hormones, right? You still do have all of these hormones. It's just that it's a different amount of somebody that's in perimenopause or not there yet. So what we would do is basically mimic a cycle, right? And that is what would start to regulate everything.
makes sense.
Yeah, which is really cool. Okay, here we go. All right, so your diet, you want your diet to be built around nourishing, hormone-friendly foods. So here's what that looks like. So protein, we want to be getting at least 0.8 grams to 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight to support your metabolism and muscle. So here's where a lot of people will get it wrong. They're like, okay, well, I'm 140 pounds. So I need, if you're going for, a gram of protein per pound, I need 140 grams of protein. But like, really, I want to be 120 pounds, right? So we're going to eat for the body that we want, right? The body weight that we want, not what we currently are. Okay. So that would be 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per target body weight. Okay. And that's going to support your metabolism and the lean muscle that you have. It's also going to give you enough material to build new muscle. Okay. And then for healthy fats. So healthy fats are things like avocados, olive oil, coconut oil, salmon. These are all really critical for hormone production. So I'll give you an example. This is years ago, like before my body started changing. So I've done macros for a really, 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 really long time. And I was doing that at that point in time, and I had dropped my fat really low, just as an experiment. And I never have bloating or cramping around my period. And all of a sudden, I was putting on like, it was like 5 to 7 pounds of water weight before my period. I had the worst cramps. I was like, I was married at the time. My husband's like, what is wrong with you? It's like, I don't know. So I went through 2 cycles like that before I realized I'm like, oh my God, I dropped my fat so low. Fat regulates your hormones. It supports your hormones. right? So if we're eating not enough healthy fat, it has a direct effect. And like, look at the effect that it had on me. That was wild and like so fast. Okay. So healthy fats are so good for you. All right, fiber. So we want to be getting 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day, which is going to detox excess estrogen and it's going to balance your blood sugar. Okay. So now with this, there's certain times within your cycle where you want to focus on detoxing estrogen, right? So when we first start bleeding, we want to support the estrogen. So we're eating foods that support estrogen, right? So we're trying to make more, trying to make more, trying to make more. And then after that, then we need to detox the estrogen, right? So again, learning to work with our bodies. All right, carbs. So we want whole food sources and we want to time them correctly. So that way, with them being whole food and being timed, it prevents insulin resistance. Okay. And so with that being timed, and we'll get into this in the next couple slides, it's like where to have those carbs within your cycle, right? Which are going to support different hormones. Okay. And then hydration and minerals. So always water, right? Water and electrolytes to support adrenal health and energy. So with water, I'm curious, how many of you girls know how much water you drink a day?
I used to. Yeah.
Okay. So you want to be drinking at least half of your body weight in ounces a day. So just to use simple math, if you weigh 100 pounds, you want to be drinking 50 ounces of water a day, right? And that's like minimum, bare minimum. Okay. Here we go, moving on. And again, any questions, just drop them in the chat too. Okay, so lifting weights. How many of you girls weight train? Raise your hands. Yay, some. We gotta go one, two. Okay, we need more. We need to start a club. You can join our club here. Okay, so lifting weights is the most effective way to boost your metabolism and burn fat. So it increases muscle mass, which keeps your metabolism high. It also improves insulin sensitivity, so your body uses more carbs efficiently. It also strengthens your bones and prevents age-related muscle loss, right? So like how we talked about in the beginning, like at 40, we start to lose muscle mass. At 50, it's even more. So if we're weight training, we're not going to be losing, right? We can actually gain more muscle. It's going to be a little bit more challenging than when we were younger, but it's still absolutely possible. But the only way to do that is with weight training. Okay. So, my girls that are weight training, how many days a week are you weight training?
3.
3. Perfect.
3.
2 to
Good.
3.
Good, good. Awesome. And so everybody else that's not weight training, are you working out in some form?
I try.
Okay, cool. And how many
Yeah.
days a week are you girls doing that?
Maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Carla.
Could you maybe just give insight on exactly like what weight training can be? Because I'm at a limited gym and I use like there's weights and the cable machines and that kind of thing and body weights. Is that like it's not heavy duty machines like big boy machines, big girl machines?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, that's okay. So I would say not body weight. You could do body weight, right? But body weight's not going to have the same effect as a weight, right? So if you have cables, you have dumbbells, you have barbells, basically what you want to do is you want to get to the point where we're breaking down our muscle tissue. So when you get to the point of you're close to failure, right? Like I'm on like rep 10 and I have 12 to go and it's like 12, like, oh my
Yes.
God, I could maybe only do like 1 or 2 more versus like, okay, here's my weights. I have 10 to do. And it's like 79, 10. And then
Yeah.
you could like, go and do like 12 other workouts after. Yeah,
Okay.
you wanna feel it for sure.
All right, good. Then that's okay.
Okay, cool. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Yeah, weights, but I like push-ups and those kinds of things too. So I didn't know if that like still
Yeah.
counted.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so we can talk about this more at the end too, because we're gonna have Q&A
Perfect.
at the end also.
Thank you. Sorry, I
Oh,
just
no, all good. All good in the hood, girl. Okay. So, yeah, so really you only need 3 to 4 sessions per week of progressive strength training to see dramatic changes. Like I only work out 4 times a week. My girls, they only work out 3 times a week. And yeah, it's again at this age, less is more. Okay. So when we train too much, it keeps our cortisol high, which keeps fat on and even encourages our body to actually store more fat. Right. So, like, I have one girl that she just came to me recently, and she was training like 6, 7 days a week. I'm like, what? What? Right. She slowed down and all of a sudden the weight started coming off. But she was scared to death to stop working out as much, right? Because we've had this thing like, oh, just work out more and you'll lose weight, right? It's like, no, it's not the case anymore. Okay. Okay. So your body can't burn fat when it's in a constant state of stress, right? So here's how we're going to reset your nervous system. So, curious, how many of your girls do sleep 7 to 9 hours a night? Raise your hand. Ooh, tough crowd. Anybody?
No.
I
Oh
wish.
Okay.
I wish.
oh my goodness. Okay. So this is like I mean, so depending on your life, unless you have, like 27 children running around, then you work like 88 hours a week. Well, Danielle, I know you work 80 hours a week. Um, so this has such a huge impact on your body, right? So sleeping 7 to 9 hours per night, it will actually regulate your hunger hormones. And so with that too, like when we get that quality sleep, we burn fat, we build muscle. This is where we create memories, right? Our body is actually able to get into those deep processes of recovery that we need. But if you're not sleeping the 7 to 9 hours, you may not be getting into those pockets. And also, even if you sleep, say 7 to 9 hours, if it's not quality sleep, right? If it's broken, then chances are you're still not getting into those deep pockets, right? So it's kind of like you could be doing all the things right. And if you're not sleeping, you're leaving a lot of your results on the table. Okay. And we can talk about at the end too, like, how to sleep better. But so what I would recommend is, if you're not at 7 hours, like if you can go to bed, say like 30 minutes earlier and like sleep 30 minutes later, however you want to break that up, or even just start at like 15 minutes earlier and slowly increase it because sleep is such a huge key. Okay. Okay. So daily movement, they call this NEAT. So walking, stretching. We really want to avoid overdoing cardio and especially things like HIT. We don't need to be doing no HIT training anymore. Like all that high intensity, like, yeah, it was great. It had its time and its place, but the HIT jacks your cortisol up, right? Think of your body in this way. Like your body is going through all of these changes inside, and then you do HIT and you're like taking yourself and you're like, come on, right? It's like, okay, slow it a little,
Danielle,
gentle.
Danielle,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What are you saying? HIT?
Yeah, like high intensity interval training, HIT
Uh-huh.
training. Mhm.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Okay. Um, mindset and relaxation. So, deep breathing, journaling, meditation, all of these things will bring your cortisol down. So, when our cortisol is higher because of perimenopause or menopause, we need extra self-care to regulate our nervous system. So I want to encourage all of you girls to, throughout the day, at least once or twice, even if it's 5 minutes, right? If you're at work, it's like, okay, like let me take this 5 minutes and let me just sit here and focus on my breath, right? Or pop earbuds in and like listen to music. or sit in your car for 5 minutes longer before you get out by yourself, just in silence, breathing, right? Because that's going to bring your cortisol down and it's going to take your body out of that fight or flight state and put you back into rest and recovery. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. And that honestly, I feel like, like even with my clients, it's such a challenging thing to do. But when you think about it, it's like, but it's only 5 minutes, right? So I challenge you tomorrow to find a pocket of 5 minutes somewhere and just like sit with yourself and breathe and see how it affects your day. Okay. All right. So your hormones fluctuate throughout the month, so your nutrition and your workouts should as well. So, example, the week before your period, how many of you girls are like ravenous? It's like anything, you're like, especially carbs, give me all the food. You just want to put it all in. So, it's normal. It's normal because our hormones are surging at that time. So, our body actually is craving more energy. That's why you crave the carbs. That's why you're ravenous. It's your body speaking to you. So also with that, less intensity. So how many of you girls, when you've had your period or leading up to your period, if you're feeling bloated or you're feeling whatever, you're like, oh, well, I need to work out harder. And you go and you push harder. Oh, nobody? Oh, you girls are good. I used to be like, let's go.
I used to be, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, good. So now really we need less intensity. Okay? Our body, think of it this way, our body is asking us for more energy. And then if we go to the gym and we're like pounding it, we're doing the exact opposite. We're taking away more energy from her. We're asking more of her that she doesn't want to give. So with the follicular phase, which is the first half of your cycle, we can eat higher carbs. Okay, so we have a higher carb tolerance. And so after we stop bleeding, you can have more intense workouts. That's when your strength really surges. And then in the last half, in the luteal phase, so days 15 to 28, we need more protein, we need more magnesium, and we need more rest. Okay. So our body's basically preparing to shed. So she needs more support in this time. And then in the middle, there's like the ground where we can go really hard in our workouts. So like the last week of the follicular and the first week of the luteal, right? So like the 2 weeks in the middle. But really the key there is to listen to your body. Like listen to your body, listen to your energy. So if you have plans to go to the gym in the morning and you're doing like whatever weight training, you get there and you're just like, man, like I'm tired, I'm not feeling it, and I don't know why. Listen to your body. So either go a lot lighter, go slower, or maybe just like walk on the treadmill for a while, right? Doing that is going to support your body more than pushing through that workout and like, whoo, right? Not honoring your body and giving her what she needs. So understanding these shifts can really help prevent cravings, energy crashes, and weight gain. Okay. So if you take away one thing from today, let it be this. Stop dieting and stop overtraining and start working with your body and start working with your hormones. So the key is long-term sustainable strategies, not quick fixes. So we want to focus on the metabolism, not on calorie burning. Right? So how many of you like on cardio equipment or if you have a watch, you're like, oh, I burned 637 calories today. I need to burn some more. Oh, and these are my stuff, right? Like that's old mindset. We need to keep that mindset in the past, right? Now it's focused on your metabolism and supporting your body and your hormones. Okay. So let's look at some real life people, some real life ladies. So all of these women have stopped dieting. All of them are weight training, have weight trained, and they've balanced their hormones and they've finally seen results. So basically every single woman here when she came to me was stuck, right? She was experiencing something similar to all of you in some way. Um, So like, okay, so who is this? April. So April said, April says, I'm just reading this off. I literally stopped today and looked at myself post-workout, pre-shower. Never have I ever transformed this quickly. You're the goddess. I literally want to cry. Never in a million years did I ever think I could get here. Lots of work still to be done, but I can see it and feel it. Thank you. And she was only 9 weeks in at that point. This is Elaine. I've been working with Danielle for several months now, and in that time period, I've lost almost 30 pounds, countless inches, and I'm just loving the way I'm looking and feeling. Clothes that I've had in my closet for years fit me now. I'm wearing jeans again and seeing muscle definition and strength that I could never get on my own. For years, I struggled with dieting and exercise to lose weight. I thought I was doing all of the right things, but the weight just didn't come off, and I did not see any progress in the way my body looked. This program has 100% worked for me, and I still have a ways to go, but I know I will get to my goal. In addition, I've learned so much about food and nutrition and what I need to eat and how to love my body and myself more. It's really made all the difference. And Elaine is 66, I believe. She's retired, 66, 67. And then the last one, Kim. So Kim had a lot of hormonal stuff going on, as well as like thyroid and Hashimoto's. She had quite an array of challenges. She said, I pulled out an event dress that I haven't worn in 3 years. This was just 2 weeks ago. And I only wore it once because I didn't like how it showed my stomach, and I loved it. I'm really liking how my clothes look on me. I keep checking myself out, and I bought a new bikini with ease. That's Kim. She's down over 20 pounds. So yeah, the results speak for themselves, right? And if you girls know me and you've been with me for a while, like you see all the girls and how they change. It's really just the keys, the little switches, right? So let's recap. So fat loss after 40. So I want you to, oh wait, sorry, hold on. Let me get my notes right. They're messed up. Okay. So now that you know how to work with your hormones, here's what you're going to do next. So you want to implement these changes and watch how your body responds. And of course, if you want personalized guidance, I would absolutely love to help you. I'd be thrilled. So I'm giving every woman on this call a free hormonal and metabolic audit. So in order to take advantage of that, I'm going to have you just text audit to, let's see, I'll give you girls the number. So it's the number that I text you all from with like the reminders and with the link, but it's 315. Actually, Michaela, could you drop this in the chat? 315-506-4264. So you'll text audit to have the hormonal and metabolic audit. And basically what we'll do in that is we'll dive deeper into like what you're experiencing, right? So if you're experiencing all the things that we talked about in the middle, which are in the beginning, which most of you are, we'll figure out why you're experiencing them. Is it your hormones? Is it your metabolism? Is it a combination of both? What are you doing in the gym? Like what specifically is going on, right? Because everybody's body is different and not everybody needs the same steps to get to their goals, right? So everything I do with my girls is customized to them. And then also, so the guide that I spoke about in the beginning, right? So if you want that guide, you're just going to text guide to that same number. So you're going to text audit for the metabolic and hormonal audit, blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to text guide if you want to receive the guide. Okay. Yes, let's see. Yes, so text guide to receive the 30 pounds, countless inches, and I don't know where these notes came from, but they're incorrect. So just forget that I said 30 pounds and countless inches. That's what you can lose if you want to, but all right. Okay, so with that being said, thank you, girls. Thank all of you girls for being here. Thank you for allowing me to share with you and really like these things and like diving deeper into these things. Actually, let me stop sharing my screen so I can see all of you girls. Okay, there we go. Full screen. Yeah, so like for me, a year ago, well, it was like a year and a half ago. So, I've been living in this body for years, 8, 9 years, right? Great body. I could see my abs all the time, muscle definition. And then all of a sudden I started having like wild night sweats. Like I would wake up and like my bed was soaking wet. Like I was soaking wet, like had to get a towel and dry off. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Right. And I'm like, okay, like, no, I'm too young to be going through perimenopause. I'm only 40. Like, I didn't know. So then I started holding on to body fat, right? And I've been doing this for so long and I'm doing all of the things that had always worked. And I'm like, okay, like this isn't working. I'm like, okay, so it's got to be my hormones. So, me personally, I was like, okay, got to figure it out. So, I really dove in and just started like studying hormones and nutrition to support hormones and what happens when your body changes and cortisol, right? And like each one and what's needed. So, when I started doing that, that's when like I started seeing the shifts, right? And the night sweats, they like slowed down, they became less. And then at the beginning of this year, when I started like eating more towards each phase of my cycle, like gone, totally gone. And last year, actually, like when I started changing all that stuff, the couple pounds that I gained, I lost that. But oh, sorry, nets. But yeah, so food is medicine. You know, it's like you go to a doctor and you're like, oh man, my hormones are so crazy. And they run your blood and check your hormones and they're like, nope, everything looks fine. Right? But they don't really know how to read them. It's like, okay, this is like bare minimum. If you're above that, oh, you're fine. Like, no, that's actually not fine, doctor. Right. So like I got mine done years ago and they're like, no, no, fine. And then I took to someone that actually knows what they're talking about and they're like, these are not fine. Right. And again, can be remedied with food by supporting those hormones and getting them really like back in line. So yeah, so that's my story on this. And this is why I'm here sharing this with you, right? Because it worked for me, and I know so many other women also need this and have not been given this information, and there's so much misinformation. So, so yeah. You girls have any questions?
So I do, Danielle.
Yeah.
Just, and I believe Carla mentioned it earlier. For those of us that are postmenopause, that have been postmenopause for, several years, you said to mimic a cycle. How do we, like, what part of the cycle do you mimic with food? Like, where is that? Where do we go? I
Yeah.
guess is the question.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I work with my girls on, right? Like we
Okay.
would set that start, like, okay, we're going to mimic your cycle here, but it would basically be just like in a nutshell, you know, like if it were me, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to say that my cycle starts on like the 8th of April, right? And I'm just going to make that day one. Right?
Okay.
And then from there, so for some women, it's trial and error. Some women, it will be good, right?
Mhm.
But for some women, it's not aligning, and then we have to tweak some things. So there could be like, oh, okay, like, all right, well, let's try like a week later. So it could take a little bit longer if you're, doing it
Mhm.
solo by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that
But
make
that's
sense?
something like if we did the audit, that's something we would talk about and then okay.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you work with men also?
I just opened myself to work with men like a month ago.
Wow, because my dad, I'm at my parents' house right now, and my dad is going to be 80 this year, and he has this like goal to join the like 90 ski club when he's 90, and you can't join this like dude ski club until you're 90.
No way.
And he's been having like the last year like a lot of frustration around muscle mass loss, and a
Mm,
lot of the people he and my parents are going to, a lot of them are just like, you guys don't eat enough. You're not
yeah.
eating enough. They're not saying like, go work out. they're like, actually, you need to eat more. It's really hard for that my parents to change that because they're in that generation where it was like, just go hard all the time, and if you don't eat, that's a good thing. And
Yeah.
it's interesting to watch that. So I was wondering, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Yay, cool.
Yeah. Yay, Dad. Oh, that's so amazing. Ski club at 90. Yes, please. Goals.
Definitely.
Seriously.
So cool.
Mm.
Anyone else have any questions? Hi, Sally. I didn't get to say hi to you before. Welcome.
Yeah, sorry, I was on the road and then getting into the house and
No, all good.
saved
How
your
are
phone.
you?
Good. Nice
Good.
to see you.
You
Thank you for
too.
this.
You're welcome. You got to catch?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I was listening in the car and on
Okay.
my way in. Yeah. No,
Awesome.
it all makes sense.
Awesome.
It does.
Awesome.
Um,
Yay.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So with sleep. Okay. So let me ask you this. How about instead of me saying sleep, which one of those things, like what was your biggest takeaway that you had? What was like, oh my God, I gotta do that.
I think for me, it's the sleep.
Mm.
Me too. I
Hmm.
can't sleep at all.
Mm.
I think the sleep and just the reminder of the water
Yeah.
getting in.
Yeah.
I I have had like an aversion to weights. Um, I like body training with like aerial and yoga and push-ups and things like that. And I really enjoy skiing and biking. But there's this thing I've had about weights where I get scared that they'll make me tight, like I won't like they'll restrict me or something.
Mm.
Um, so it's really interesting to hear you be like, we gotta lift weights, people.
Yeah.
For you
Oh.
and your mom. I'm like, okay, there's something here. I need resistance to it.
So you feel
Oh,
like you're gonna get tight in the way of like you won't be as like flexible and limber.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, I think I also just haven't studied how to do it. I did lift weights in college and sometimes went hard with in boxing a little bit when I dated a guy. Like a lot of times when I've done these hardcore things or like interval trading,
Ah.
I was in so much pain.
Mm.
Uh, after like from just like introducing myself to it. So it's like just not being that like I'm not that way anymore, but crazy aggressive, like go hard into this thing. So
Yeah.
that's me. But that was the biggest thing for me is like I that's why I joined the call, but also something that fascinates me about Danielle is I'm like, okay, she's really into this thing that I like have a lot of resistance to. And I also need it because I have young kids and one is needs a lot of physical support and I need my body to be really to support me. I need her to really support me in this boy world.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I expect, yeah, those boys aren't gonna stop growing.
No.
Mhm.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah, and that's I've worked with a lot of women that have had like I don't know if I would call it aversion. Yeah, aversion or like a fear of weights, right? And but then once they start, right? And it's starting slow. It's, meeting yourself where you're at. So if you've not ever, weight trained or you haven't done it in years and years, you're not going to go in and pick up, 20-pound dumbbells and be throwing them around. You're just like start with the baby ones, like start slow.
I think one of my issues is I'm used to classes. I'm comfortable in a class. I'm
Mhm.
comfortable with other people around me. I'm not comfortable. I mean, I've done it going into a gym and just do, weights on my own or do the machines on my own, but I'm not comfortable doing that. So I do steer it away from that. Um, so that's something that I have to get more comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing with classes is, I mean, classes are great, right? Because you have somebody like you don't have to think about anything. You're just following what they're doing. The downside is they don't help you with your form,
Right.
right? They don't teach you how to move correctly. No
Hmm.
one's tracking your workouts or the weights that you're using. So how are you? It's really hard to remember what you do week after week, right?
Right.
Without recording it.
Hmm.
And a lot of the times the classes aren't the same, right? It's not like squat, lunge, deadlift, press. It's usually like squat this week, and then skipping, and then Zumba, and then
Right.
yoga, and then hit, and then right. So
Mhm.
there's no consistency, right? And
Mhm.
that's really, especially at this age, we want to be weight training in such a way that it's, the progressive overload, so that it's like I program for my girls 4 week blocks. So it's the same workouts. Like Monday is the same every Monday for 4 weeks. Wednesday is the same. Friday is the same. And then after that month, then we switch and we do a different one because we're
Hmm.
working those same muscle groups, right? For
Mhm.
those 4 weeks, we see results and then we change it up. We do the same muscle groups, but we change the movements, right? And that's how you get, defined all over.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. And burn more fat.
Mhm.
Who doesn't want to do that? Hmm.
Hey,
And then,
Danielle. So
yeah.
Carla
Oh,
asked
yeah.
earlier, how many grams of healthy fat?
So there's no like guideline of that, like fiber, right? Like fiber is 25 to 35 and protein is 0.8 to like 1 gram per pound. So it depends on what your goal body weight is. And your training and your lifestyle. So there's a couple different things that come into play with that. However, you don't want to be anything less than like 40 grams per day is the absolute lowest that you want to go, right? And so, like, 40 grams would probably be a woman that is like 100-ish pounds, 100, 110, somewhere around there.
Also, Nicole asked, walking, does that count as exercise?
Yeah, so walking that's more of your neat, right? So your daily movement. I consider walking cardio, right? That's what I do for my cardio, X amount of steps. But no, I wouldn't put walking in the same category as, say, like weight training, right? Or even doing like body weight movements, right? Walking is excellent. And at the same time, right, you also need other things for other parts of your body. It's like walking, you're moving your legs, right? We want to focus on shoulders and other muscles and core and back and
Mhm.
booty and all of that, right? We want to build those muscles. Does that make sense, Nicole? So I'm just going to do these.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Danielle.
Okay, good. Hi, there you
Right. I couldn't find the button, but
are.
there we go. Hi.
Hi, yay.
Um, yeah, I feel inspired to start getting stronger, start, going into body weight and then into the gym. Because I think all the other pieces for me are pretty lined up. So yeah, I feel inspired. So thank you so much.
Good. You're
Mhm.
welcome. Get it, girl. I would like a gym selfie, please, when you go.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, awesome. Excellent. All right, cool. Well, if you girls don't have any more questions and you feel complete, we can wrap it up. And again, I would love to, really, I would love to give all of you girls an audit and give you girls like insight as to where you're at and steps that you can take. But again, like everything that we talked about today, right? Implement the things. And like I always say, if it's overwhelming, it gets to go, right? So if you're like, oh my God, I actually need to do all of these things, just start with one, right? Start with one, do that for a week, see how your body reacts, then add the other, right? Do it for a week, see how your body reacts instead of everything all at one time because that could be changing a lot. And then what's that going to do? Stress, then cortisol goes like that, which is what we're trying to like mitigate. We don't want that, right? So one at a time and like really like, you know, connect with this girl. She's your girl. She's your ride or die. She's not going anywhere. When she goes somewhere, that's when you go somewhere. So you gotta take care of her.
Can can I ask one more
Of
question?
course.
Um, what would you say in like a summary of like if cortisol goes up or when cortisol gets like skyrocketed for a lot of us with stress and a lot of women
Mhm.
reach for sugar,
Mhm.
what would you say just if you said like 2 minutes of why um that kind of reach can damage us or throw us back or cause weight gain? I'm just
Sugar.
curious. Yeah, sugar.
Why we reach for sugar or why the sugar is bad?
Either, both,
All of it.
all of it.
So a lot of times we reach for sugar when we're stressed out like that because this is like past programming. So think of when you were little, right? And I would love for you girls to answer this out loud. So when you were little, did your parents either reward you with food, right? Like, oh my God, you did so great. You got an A on your report card. Let's go get ice cream. Or like, oh, we're getting cupcakes because you did so great, right? Or if you were sad or upset, like, oh, here, I made you macaroni and cheese, right? So a lot of times when we're younger, there's food that we tie in with emotions, right? So like me, for example, we would go out to eat or go out for ice cream every Friday night, right? Myself, my sister, and my parents, they would take us out and we loved it. Like I looked forward to it. We'd go to the same ice cream parlor and it was cool because it was like, oh my God, so much love and connection with my family. It was comfort. It was safe, right? So when I was married and my ex-husband would work late and he'd be like, oh, we had plans, but like I gotta work overtime. I'd be like, oh, and I'd reach for the ice cream. I wasn't hungry, right? But ice cream meant comfort, right? Decrease the stress. So a lot of times we reach for sugar and some women they'll reach for salt and it's the same thing, right? It's like because of things that we associate that food with in the past, we're trying to give that to ourselves through the food. But then when we do that, so our cortisol is high, right? We're like, give me the ice cream. Okay, great. Mentally, we may feel better, but our body is like, blood sugar, right? So when our cortisol is high and our blood sugar is high, then we have the insulin, and then our body wants to store fat, right? Because cortisol is high, insulin is high. Our body thinks that we are running from a predator.
Mhm.
Right? So it stops all like digestion processes, pulls the blood away from the organs and goes to your limbs again, so you can escape. Right? So it's that whole process. So if we're not digesting food and we're in that fight or flight, and our body thinks that, oh my God, there could be a chance of I might not make it or a famine, we're not going to eat for a long time, then your body's going to store the fat because body fat is your body's insurance policy. So it can survive for as long as possible. That was a long answer to your short question, I think. But did I answer it?
No, that's really helpful. You tied it to all the things because
Okay.
I feel like culturally it's a really big one. Uh,
Mhm.
so thank you.
You're welcome. That was an awesome question. Thank you for asking that.
Mhm.
I love explaining that one.
Also, Danielle, there's a follow-up question from Joanne. So the first question is, are we doing strength training the first 2 weeks of the cycle? Second, what do you mean by rest and recovery?
What do I mean by rest and recovery?
Yes.
Okay, so first part of the cycle, yes, still strength training, but that's where you're going to be a little more gentle on your body, right? When you're that week that you would be bleeding, because think your body is shedding, right? She's like removing everything that does not belong. So we need to support that. She needs energy to do that. So we want to be a little easier with the weights, right? And then when you would stop bleeding, so depending on your cycle, right? And you'll feel your energy come back. And when you have more energy, then you can go back to, what you would normally be doing at that intensity with the weights. And then the second part was, what do I mean by rest and recovery?
Yep.
Rest and recovery in opposition to like fight and flight? Yeah, okay. So when our stress is really high and our cortisol is up, our body, our nervous system is in fight or flight, right? And then when we're relaxed, so think about um, like when you first wake up in the morning, right? When you first open your eyes and you're breathing, right? And you're breathing nice and slow, you're in rest and recovery mode at that point, right? Your nervous system is calm. So rest and recovery, or they also call it uh, oh my goodness, I'm blanking out. It's another R. Rest and recovery. Um, yep, left my mind. It's similar words, synonyms, synonyms that. And so you can get your body into that state just by like stopping and breathing. Like on that one slide where I, encouraged you to just sit for like 5 minutes in the car before you get out and just breathe. Just put your hand on your chest, breathe as deep as you can for 5 minutes, and you'll put your body right back into that rest and recovery mode.
Is it rejuvenation?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Restorative, rejuvenative, replenishing, like all the R's really. All right, awesome. Okay, girls. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you all for being here. And yeah, if
Thank
you,
you
oh,
so. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you and
okay. I'm like, who's talking what?
sorry, I just wanted to make sure you say thank you so much.
Oh no, all good. Such a pleasure to have you. And again, let's have that call. Let's get you girls moving.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
loves. Have a great night.
You.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Night night.
Night.